Hello, and welcome to the Leap Lounge podcast. I'm your host, Joan Russell, a change coach and transformation strategist here to help you turn life's big changes into powerful growth. The Leap Lounge is both an in-person and online support squad for people ready to take bold leaps, whether in life, career, or purpose. If you're standing at the edge of something new and wondering, what's next? You're in the right place. Are you ready to leap into the unknown? Let's go. Hi, and welcome to the Leap Lounge. This is episode 1 of the Leap Lounge podcast, and I am super excited about this because, well, even though doing a podcast hadn't been totally on my radar, in the back of my mind, I kind of always wanted to do one. So here we are, and here's where we begin, in my little office cubby at home, at a new place that I just moved into like a week ago, because why not do everything all at once, right? Sometimes we have to do hard things in our life, and here's where we begin. It's not perfect, and that's fine with me because we all start doing hard things somewhere. Which brings me to the origins of the Leap Lounge, but first I should probably introduce myself a little bit. Hi, I'm Joan. I'm a change coach and transformation strategist, just like you just heard in the intro. And what I do is I help people create growth from change. That's what I do. Change has been a huge part of my life, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I want to talk about the origins of the Leap Lounge first. So a good friend of mine named Victoria Shaw one day contacted me and said, hey, I was just at a networking event and I ran into all these coaches and wellness providers and practitioners who aren't really doing great in their businesses right now and they need help. And you should start a meetup for this. And the reason why she said I should start a meetup for it is because I have a couple of meetup groups, but the biggest one is called Adventures in San Diego, which has something like 2,600 members in it. So meetups kind of been my jam, and it seemed natural to put in meetup. But when she told me about this, and she said, it's coaches and wellness practitioners who are having a really hard time with launching their businesses, it made me think. And the first thing I thought was, well, this is way bigger than that. Right now, it is June 17th, 2025, when I'm recording this, and we are in the throes of the first year of the second Donald Trump administration. And what that means is we literally are seeing ICE going after immigrants. We've already seen people in the federal government and in ancillary areas get laid off or dojied because of the doji group that's within the government now that was headed up by Elon Musk, who's just recently left that. And there's chaos happening. We don't know what's going on from day to day because the administration likes to change it up so that way everyone stays tuned for the next show. It's like the US television show right now. So when she came to me and said, as practitioners and coaches, I said, yeah, and also people who have just lost their jobs, people who are afraid for what's going on with their lives right now because their livelihoods are threatened by everything that's happening. People who are really, really struggling and not making a lot of money due to things like inflation. People who have had great jobs, but they've been changed a lot, especially with the advent of AI every place, which, take it or leave it, whether it's a good thing for humanity or not, we will find this all out later on as it continues happening. But people are going to be let go from it. Things are changing incredibly rapidly right now. And having a space for people to think about what they really want in their life, what they dream of, what they want to do. That person who's working and who really wants to have their own business, or that person who's working and really wants to retire, or that retiree who wants something more in their life, or that person who's just coming out of college and seeing this landscape of employment just being trash and not being able to find anything. What about them? Taking leaps into new things is scary. And that's all a part of the change cycle. So what if we put together a support group for people who are wanting to make big leaps, big transitions in their lives, and maybe don't know how to go about it, are afraid to do it because, we've been conditioned to go out and get a good job and to get a mortgage and have the kids and all of that stuff. charting a different path for yourself than the one you saw yourself on, because that's what schools or your parents or whoever has conditioned you into being, that changes things. And it's really, really hard for most people to do this because it takes you out of your comfort zone. So, hence the Leap Lounge. And I knew that it needed to be an in-person space for people. So that way it's not just networking, it's actually getting deep about what you want to change, what leap you want to take, what ideas you have. Maybe there's people there who can help you with it. And there's definitely me who's there as the facilitator of it all, because I have gotten throughout my time here in San Diego a number of connections within the community. And that kind of transitions over to, why me? Why am I the person to do this Leap Lounge? First of all, the Leap Lounge is all about creating connections. And it's all about getting confidence. And it's all about having a support squad to help you through all of this. And when I took my leap into this entrepreneurship journey as a coach and strategist, I had just moved to San Diego and I had just gotten over a near-death experience, to be perfectly honest. It was rough. And coming out of that near-death experience taught me, well, I still love my job, but at the same time, I want this other thing. And I had been credentialed as a coach, an ICF credentialed coach, and I had been coaching my teams at my day job, my corporate day job, for a while, but I'd always wanted my own coaching practice. So a few months during the time that I was really, really sick, I had signed up for a program to help me start my business. And I wasn't able to complete it because, once again, it was horrible. Anyway, that's for a whole nother topic at another date and time. So after I wound up being well, I went back to the program and I said, hey, can I complete it? And they said yes. So I finished the program and I launched my business in 2022. But as a solopreneur doing it part-time, there isn't a lot of support that's out there when it comes to actual real people. Most of it's for full-time entrepreneurs and not for people who are doing side hustles or things like that. So I kind of envision this as that space. And it's not just remote like a lot of these sort of support groups are. This is an in-person group, and it's in person first, because I think that having community around you, especially right now with everything I said at the top of this show, with all the changes that are happening right now, I think having in-person community is absolutely key right now to our existence, our livelihoods. We need to connect with other like-minded people, and especially a space like this where you're being vulnerable, and it's scarifying, really, because you're scared and it's kind of terrifying, but it's also exciting to be in a space where you're like, I have this idea and let me put it by you all and see if it works. And you actually have a team of people that you can put it in front of and say, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Or, oh no, honey, you're totally off track. So that's a little bit about why me and what the Leap Lounge is about. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about what the Leap Lounge is about. So I mentioned about it being for people who wanted to take a leap of faith. When I say a leap of faith, that doesn't necessarily mean religion in any way or trusting God. It's more trusting yourself. It's having faith in yourself and in your abilities to do the thing that you want to do and that you're going to love. It's all about doing that dream, because I don't know about you, but for me, I like to live a life without regrets. And living a life without regrets means doing things that are really very much outside of your comfort zone, much like this first podcast. Having a life of no regrets doesn't mean to go and just do things, willy-nilly to go hurt other people or do whatever. It means living a life that is aligned to your values, whatever those values may be. And in the upcoming online membership portal, which is on the roadmap for the Leap Lounge, we're going to have a values assessment in there, along with other coursework and things like that, that can help you better determine what your leap is. You probably already know it deep down inside. You do, don't you? And at the same time, sometimes you don't know what that's going to manifest as. So having that values guide is really, really helpful to help determine that. So anyway, that's a bit more about the Leap Lounge in-person support group. The first Leap Lounge I had about a month and a half ago in person at a place called Mercado Food Hall here in San Diego, which I'm from. And it had 7 people at it. What I'd done is I didn't know if this concept was even going to work, so I opened it up to a group of my closest friends and people who I had worked with before and said, hey, would you like to attend something like this? And 7 showed up, which was fantastic. I was really excited to even have 7 people who thought this might be something good and something special. Then the second one happened, and we were still at Mercado Food Hall again, but when we showed up, it turns out that the place that had happy hour that we were going to and that we were going to meet at, they closed. Yeah, they closed, like permanently, for good. What? That was completely unexpected, and it still showed as being open and available online and everything else. So we show up and the place is shuttered. There's no cocktails, there's no drinks, there's no food. So needless to say, Mercado Food Hall is no longer where we're holding the Leap Lounge. We have a new venue tonight. Yeah, tonight is the third Leap Lounge. So why not record a podcast on the same day as the third Leap Lounge? Anyway, so the second Leap Lounge had 10 people attend. We had something like 18 RSVPs and 10 people attended. And for a free in-person group, that's about what I expect, is about a 50% show rate. So this one tonight, we're holding at a new venue, New English Brewery in Sorrento Valley here in San Diego, which I'm super excited about. It's got a great patio. Everyone's been lovely to deal with so far. And we have 35 RSVPs, so I expect about 15 to 20 people to come. And it's really exciting because at the second Leap Lounge, one of the people who was at the first Leap Lounge came, and she had made her leap already. She'd made her leap already. Can you believe that? That's amazing. And I'm hoping to have her on as a guest in a future podcast so she can tell you more about her story. I'm not going to do it now. But at the second Leap Lounge, it was fantastic because we had such a wide variety of people there. And people there want to make all sorts of different leaps. One of the leaps was a gentleman who's also a client of mine who is retired and wants to find a relationship with a lovely person. Another person is also retired, but he wants to create good karma in the world. We had another person who is still working corporate, and his great leap is he wants to help create clean water in India. Another person was a stay-at-home mom, and she is in the middle of a divorce, and she has a couple of children, and she hasn't worked in over 6 years. So she's trying to find a job, and that's her big leap. We had a couple of people who wanted to start art galleries, which is fantastic. And the fun thing, the amazing thing, not just the fun thing, the amazing thing at the end is that people really connected with each other. And they're still connecting with each other outside of the Leap Lounge right now, even as we speak. The 2 people who want to create art galleries, but slightly different, have connected. 2 of the other people have connected with a third person who is an expat who just moved back to the States from Taiwan. And that was really a very fascinating story about what his leap was. So this is why I firmly believe in the power of having in-person events. And so the Leap Lounge is having in-person events every 2 weeks. Like I said, our third one is tonight, which is June 17th, 2025. I'm really excited about it. So what are people saying about it? We had a leap. We had a connection. We have people who've come back each time and are coming back tonight each time. It's been really, really rewarding for me watching it and facilitating it and asking people hard questions. Like, if you were a superhero, how would you take that leap? Or what would your next step be? And that was fun to really hear what everyone's next step would be as we went around the virtual table, or actually the real table in that case. So what can you expect from the Leap Lounge moving forward? We have this podcast. Woo! First one. So glad it's almost done, and it's going to be up very, very soon. So you can expect podcast episodes. I'm going to try and do weekly, but I'm not committing to dates right now. And you'll have guests who are coming on. You'll have experts who are coming on with me. Once again, I have a pretty wide network. So I'm really looking forward to what happens next with the podcast. We have an online membership portal that I'm going to be launching on July 4th. Independence Day, because I want you to celebrate your independence of having the idea for your leap out of your head and into the world. Seriously, I cannot tell you how freeing it is when you actually make the decision to do it and get into action. It's such a cool feeling. And it's scary. And sometimes after you do an action, you're like, oh my God, what am I doing? What now? That's a topic for another podcast, I think. In the online membership portal, there's going to be courses and information to help you make the leap, along with resources. There's also one-on-one coaching that's available with me, because that's one of the things I do is one-on-one coaching. I also do public speaking and events. And that one-on-one coaching will be made available as a program, and also it will be as a part of the premium plan within the portal. You'll have guests and partnership and inspiration along the way. What the Leap Lounge really, really stands for is for you to create your confidence and to have a support squad, and for us to help cheer you along the way towards what your leap is and the outcome of your leap. So thank you for being here with me today on the inaugural Leap Lounge podcast. I'm so happy that you stayed and listened. And you know what? If you're ever wondering if you're crazy for what you want, just realize that you wouldn't have the idea for what you want to do unless it was something that was meant for you. It's never too late to become who you really want to be. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye.